Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I would like to take a look at how the markets, just clear that chart off, how the markets unfolded. This is the ES mini markets unfolded on the last trading day, so that was Friday the 11th of March. I'm using MTPredictor version 6.5 here. The main market I'd like to look at, is this the most interesting one, is the NQ. This is the the Nasdaq Mini. The chart I'd like to look at mainly is on the 3-minute chart, and in particular this TS1, this automatic TS1 buy setup here. As you can see, this got us into a lovely trade as the market rallied. Excuse me. So I'd like to take a look at this and see how we could have looked at this in the MTPredictor analysis. As always, we first look to the larger degree chart. So we've seen there's a TS1 buy setup on the 3-minute. Standard traders will have noticed this is against the red STF. However, advanced traders among you will have gone to the 15-minute chart and see whether there was support at any prior lows. So if I go to the 15-minute chart of the NQ, if I go back a bit, just before the day started, very easily we go to advanced chart analysis. We click on the decision point, click on the prior pivot low, which is this one here, and instantly we get a support zone on the chart in advance. This would have been on the market before the market, or on the chart before the market even opened on Friday. We then go forward. We see that the market actually dips down into here. If we look at this bar here, this is actually 10:30 on March the 11th, and if we look on the 3-minute chart, it's actually this low here. If I go back a bit, it's actually this low here. So we know that the market's made an initial rally off a important support zone. In other words, this decision point low here. So what do we know about a setup where we have a rally off an important low? Well, what we do now is we look to the first correction of that to see whether it unfolds as an ABC. And if I move forward on the 15-minute chart, that's around about here. So it's around about the 11 o'clock zone. Just before we go back to the 3-minute chart, I want to just put the 15-minute target on. And as you can see, our target again is very easy. You click on the DP, click on the prior high. So bear in mind we have a target level of around about the 2300 level, which is our level here. So this is our target level on our 15-minute chart. I'll just make a note of that. 2300, because we'll be looking at that when we come in for our setups on the short-term chart. So that sets up the larger degree support and the larger degree target on the 15-minute chart. We go back to our 3-minute chart on the NQ, and if I go back a bit to this point here, here we have a TS1 buy setup. Now yes, it's against the red STF, but as I've already explained, advanced traders would have known that this was the initial rally off an important 15-minute support zone. Therefore we look for an ABC correction, which if I put the analysis on, very easy indeed, you can see ABC comes into our TS1 buy setup. Now do you remember that on the 15-minute chart I said the target was around 2300? Well, that's up here. You can see that. That is around the level of our typical wave 3 WPT, so we should be then treating this as what we call a holy grail trade. In other words, we shouldn't be looking to trade this into our first target, because we know that the larger degree resistance is higher up, and also we think the market is going to go straight through these levels up to our typical wave 3 WPT. So let's put the risk reward on this setup and see what it would be at the typical wave 3 WPT. Well, you can't quite see that there because it's right on top of the green zone, but it's approximately 6.6R profit. So that's the trade we'll be gunning for, knowing that this is a holy grail trade in the setup, in the unfolding, rather than a straightforward normal TS1. So if I go forward, you can see the market just as we anticipated, goes up to the first targets, but then it actually goes straight through them. It goes straight through them, comes back down again. I'll just zoom in a bit, and lo and behold, towards the end of the day, look what happened. Market went up and absolutely just clipped that typical wave 3 WPT just before the close, and as such you could have actually put in a lovely 6.6R profit into your trading account. But the point being is, this was yet another example of our Holy Grail setup where we have an important low unfolding. This was our DP on our 15-minute. We had the initial rally off that. We then had the initial correction unfolding as a TS1 setup, which is our A, B, C correction. We then treat the rally off this as a wave 3. In other words, we don't look for our first wave C targets, we look to our typical wave 3 WPT, and that's exactly what unfolded. So great example of a Holy Grail trade that unfolded absolutely perfectly on the 3-minute NQ on Friday, March the 11th.